This is how I use the Bezier tool in Inkscape. You just press B to bring it up. And the two most important things to know about it is it has a curve mode and a line mode. As you're placing the points, if you just click, you're placing a line point. If you click and press and hold, you're making a curve. If you need to get back to the line mode, you just hit shift+L, and then that lets you go back to making lines. But it's very powerful to trace. Well, to just freehand draw, or in this case what I'm doing is I'm trying to make a flat icon that looks like a finch. So I just found a picture of a photo of a finch, and I'm just tracing the outline to make a rough shape of a finch that would be recognizable as an icon or clip art. First thing I do is make the main shape, the perimeter around the outside, and then I'll go back and add some detail later. And see here at the end, that first one was a corner instead of a curve, so I have to click it and then make that node smooth, and that'll round it out. So we have my basic outline. Go back to the Bezier tool, and I'm just kind of sketching out where the feathers would be so that I can make a section of black feathers versus the yellow feathers to show some contrast so it's more recognizable versus just a generic bird icon. And I'm doing these on layers. So the bottom layer is the photo itself, and I've clicked the little lock icon next to it so that I'm not adding any changes to that layer. And to bring up the layers, you just hit Shift-Control-L. That brings up the layers palette. In this case, I had to do the little eyelashes next to it to turn it off because the fill, the bucket, was trying to constrain itself to the tolerance of the photo itself, and all I wanted to do was fill the shape that I just made with the vectors. So just click the eyelashes, turn it off, and I was able to fill it. And you can see here, this is why I like working with vectors, is just click the nodes and you can readjust the shape. Here I'm going to make an outline for the black feathers on the head. Clicking N on the keyboard will bring up the node edit tool. Again, I'm just adjusting some of the nodes because I didn't want such a random angle there. Now I'll be working on the eye. One thing I'll be doing differently with the Bezier tool, we'll be using it in Spyro mode instead of regular mode for that white highlight, and that just makes keeps it all very curvy, and you'll see that here in a sec. So after I click it, up there at the top, see I realized, oh, I'm in the wrong mode. I had to click that next icon over that looks like a sideways S or a Dutch letter, and that way I can make it smooth. That's the highlight for my eye. I'm back in regular mode. Yep, click and hold for curves. Shift-L to turn back to line mode. Then I'll reposition the nodes to be more precise after I get the basic shape. So let's move these two nodes closer together. Make a shape for the white to represent where the white feathers are. Again, it doesn't have to be this precise. I'm maybe being pickier than I need to be. Just want to make a section that would kind of highlight white feathers versus the yellow. And I need to pull it over a little bit because if I fill the yellow, see I have a gap there at the bottom, and when I fill yellow, I don't want it to go in through to where the black tail is going to be. Now, the way the fill tool works, when you click one of the color swatches, it fills. If you shift click, it does the stroke or the border of the shape. And if you don't want any fill or you don't want any stroke, you would click or shift click on that red X next to the black, and that would turn off the stroke if you shift click it, or it'll turn off the fill if you just click it for whichever shape you have currently selected. Now, this might end up being just like a 300 pixel wide icon, so a lot of the details aren't going to be picked up, so that's why I'm doing this pretty simply. This eyedropper tool is just going to let me pick out a good bright yellow from the bird, a yellow and an orange. I always have to make sure I toggle off the photo so that it's not trying to constrain itself to the tolerance of the shading on the photo, but filling in the shape that I'm trying to color. There we go. We have a flat icon that represents a finch.